The inability to remember and the question what remains after memory is gone are the themes that a theatre ensemble from London are currently exploring in The Nature of Forgetting. The play will see its exclusive premiere at the Point in Eastleigh on Friday evening before moving to the capital. And our reporter Nicole Ris went to see the cast at their dress rehearsal to find out more.
What happens in the brain when we forget? That's one of the questions the crew from Theatre was exploring for their play The Nature of Forgetting. The piece tells the story of Tom, who shows early signs of dementia, and the cast has been busy preparing for the premiere at the Point for over 16 months now.
I think what we're trying to get at, or the question that we're trying to answer, is something along the lines of what is eternal, or in other words, what is left when memory is gone. So it's not so much about the forgetting part, but more about what's left when forgetting has happened. And we couldn't really find an answer, so we made a show about it. And the storyline is quite simple. It's a story of Tom, a 55-year-old man who has early onset dementia, and he's being cared for by his daughter Sophie. It's his birthday, and he needs to get dressed. And as he's trying to get dressed, the feel of the clothes on the rack take him back into the world of his past. And obviously that's where the confusion starts to happen, because obviously dementia is quite mysterious for most people. It's not to show that actually memories disappear. I think the point for us is to show that memories are still there, they're just not accessible, which is slightly different, obviously.
Guillaume is playing the leading role. And to get a detailed understanding of memory loss, the ensemble worked together with scientists and people who are suffering from dementia.
So we've worked with a UCL neuroscience professor called Kate Jeffrey, and she's an expert in memory, and she explained to us how it all works, or at least what we know at the date of today. What is the science? How can the science inform our knowledge of what happens in the brain? So that was really useful. We also worked with different people. We interviewed people, older people, so people who have trouble remembering, and we interviewed people living with dementia, so people who are clearly forgetting, and their carers. And what was important there was to make a clear difference between old age and dementia, forgetting, someone who is clearly forgetting. And that's why in the play, Tom is not an old man, he's 55, and he's suffering from early onset. I would ask people about their favorite songs, and they would tell me about the memories behind those songs. And for us, the aim was to see how people remember and not just what they remember. It became very obvious that, for instance, the world of childhood memories, because it's long-term memory, was much more present for everyone, all the people that we interviewed, than what did you eat for breakfast, for instance. That is completely gone. That is wiped out. That has not been printed. However, the first day at school, the first kiss, wedding, all of that, from about 8 to 25 is really, really present in everyone's memory. And then afterwards it gets muddier and muddier and muddier.
With the intense preparations for the play, The Nature of Forgetting wants to give those who are affected themselves and their beloved ones a voice.
Everyone living today knows someone who has been affected by dementia. We all have a grandmother, we all have an uncle, we all have a father or a friend who has been touched by dementia, or who is currently living with a memory loss. Not a problem, but a memory loss condition. So just for that, I think it's important, because I think we portray that well. And not only we don't really portray the disease, but we portray what happens to the carers. We portray what happens to the people around the person who's suffering. And then apart from that, I mean, of course I'm biased, but I think it's a fantastic piece of theatre. It'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry, and I think what I hope is that people come out of the theatre with a big smile on their face and a tie in their ear, thinking that life is beautiful and fragile and that we should cherish it.
Nicole Ris, for That's Solent.